here together. Welcome, Minties, to our special live Ask Us Anything episode to celebrate, coincidentally, our 10,000 subscribers.
Woo! Over 9,000.
Woo! You're all here.
All 10,000?
Yes.
Sweet. My mom did not create that many accounts.
So
all your cousins.
We definitely want to celebrate. So Omar has some champagne here, so he's gonna pour some glasses.
Yeah.
And we will toast. But in the meantime, we'll just kind of go over what we're gonna do. So obviously, everyone in the chat, we have some questions that we had gotten previously when we had first. We're gonna do this from social media, YouTube. So I have a list already. But start asking your questions. I'll be monitoring the chat and adding the questions to our list as we go.
There's also super chat
if you really want us, if you really want us to read your question, super chat is available. Monetize that and hit us up, and it'll highlight, and we will definitely read you.
You don't have to tell them to monetize. I think they know.
We will definitely read
So thank you, everybody, for joining us. I don't have champagne for everybody. I didn't even buy this because I'm a cheap ass. This is Amanda's doing. I would have bought something from the Dollar General. So Amanda's got some questions she's going to ask us, and we've mentally prepared for all week because we were supposed to do this a couple weeks ago, but Google Hangouts decided to be a bitch.
Yes, so now we're trying a different
we lost Dan. Dan had to go.
It's
just us now.
He's under the table.
All right.
All right, yeah, let's
do a toast.
Oh, yeah.
What? Wait.
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
Andrew, we got to get our cameraman,
we need producer,
Andrew, in here.
Executive producer.
This is the guy that makes us sound and look good.
We all need a little bit of liquid courage to get through this episode.
You're not giving us enough here, man.
Okay, hold on.
I'll join for the toast.
You might get this one. I'll take this one out.
I'll take the bottom.
All right, Omar, you want to make the toast?
Okay.
I guess the road to 25,000.
That sounds good. 25,000.
And to all our viewers, thank you for joining us.
3 years.
It has been.
All right.
Well, Lord, I'm glad that looks like a bottle of Dom. I do roll hard when it's time to roll.
Cristal.
Cristal. Ace of spades.
All right, Amanda, why don't you go ahead and start us with some questions?
So let's go ahead and get started.
We're going to keep an eye on the chat.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on the chat. And our first question actually comes from Ben Bennett from Facebook. And his question was, if you were given an opportunity to attend a private party with 15 to 20 creators, and we'll narrow it down to 3 each, who do you want to spend an hour chilling with?
Oh, gosh.
And keep it current, not legends that have already passed. So Stan Lee...
This is live.
Stan Lee is not on the table. So, Dan, why don't you start since over here we have a little bit of a mess going on.
I'm just going to go with all the creators behind the Transformers series, the IDW Transformers series. So James Roberts, Nick Roche, all those people. That's who I want to.
Wow,
hang out with.
that's awesome.
Right.
Okay,
and just the whole team.
That would be good. For me, I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. I'm gonna go with Chris Claremont. Even though we've hung out already and been kicked out of a hotel room together.
That was amazing.
Not hotel room.
Hotel lobby.
Wait a minute.
Omar once did this.
Oh my goodness.
And then I'm going to throw Christina Hendricks in for a little mix.
She's not a creator, though, but okay.
Comic creator.
She's created a lot of things, okay? And probably Jeff Johns. So Jeff Johns,
there we go.
Christina Hendricks. She's going to be like, what the fuck am I doing here?
I mean, if
you're watching, that's what you're doing.
If we're adding anyone.
All right, so... Number 1, Gail Simone, obviously. No question.
Okay.
2... And you know what? I'm not thinking just comic books. We'll just say creators in general. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Hayao Miyazaki. He's made manga. It counts.
I've
always wanted to meet him.
He did Nausicaa.
He did Nausicaa. 3rd, we'll just say Babstar. I just saw her Instagram.
Babstar, okay.
I really think she's
super cute.
She is. So creators for me, as far as comic creators, I think I would love to hang out with the likes of Donny Cates because he has an awesome Twitter account. I would also like to hang out with Rainbow Rowell. She's written, not from her Runaways or anything like that, but she wrote a phenomenal young adult series or books that I love. Fangirl and Eleanor and Park. I know that's me basically, and that's why I would love to do her. And I don't know, maybe Cassandra Clare is another author I would love to meet and talk to. She did the Mortal Instruments series that I absolutely adore.
So no men in your party, just women.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
wow,
Donny Cates.
I stand corrected. And that is my problem, my attention span. Rob?
Hey, Rob.
So I don't know how to read.
Video game.
Yeah, so video game people want to hang out with.
Which you already
Which
stalked.
technically I have stalked everyone I'm going to say.
Right.
Shigeru Miyamoto, the inventor of Mario, Zelda, and every franchise that I love and hold dear to my heart.
Right.
Hideo Kojima, who is Metal Gear and Death Stranding, whatever the heck Death Stranding is. Like
That's
I love
gonna
it.
be
Plastic
interesting.
Baby.
Yeah.
Plastic Baby.
In a bag.
Order now, $200. And I guess the third person would be Koji Igarashi, which would be the creator of Castlevania guy.
Yeah.
And like I said, I have actually spent a little bit of time with all these people, but I would love to, like, you know...
But
like,
you've never gotten
Watching
to,
them
like,
sleep does not
whip
count.
shit with the Castlevania guy.
we did karaoke together. That was really cool.
That's next best thing.
Yeah, that's the next big thing. So I love to spend, like, actual time with
Did you see
Miyamoto-san and
Whip
Koji-san.
It with the karaoke?
We did not do that. We did not do that. We did do Dragon Ball.
Missed opportunity. All right.
Let's see.
Tina, what do you got?
Rumiku Takahashi.
Ooh, good
because
choice,
I fell
good
in love
choice.
with Mermaid Scar or Mermaid's Force.
See, Tina's old school with
I'm
manga.
very, very old school. And I want to ask her, why can't she end a series?
Yeah, girl, for real.
Yeah, she ended
But
Maze on the
she-
Coast.
Creators
She
love it
did.
when you ask them that.
I know. Well, I mean,
Why is
Inuyasha
this your
was kind
fatal
of weird.
flaw?
That'll definitely get the conversation off to
Yeah,
a
I'm sure
positive.
George
She
R. R.
a little
Martin
bit,
never gives
and
up.
say Rebecca Sugar of Steven Universe.
Rebecca
She has-
Sugar?
Rebecca Sugar. She also did
Her
Yes.
favorite Miyazaki or Studio Ghibli movie happens to be Whisper of the Heart.
Oh,
which
yeah.
I also agree with that.
Which, I can see that. I can totally see that. And, the third one would be hard. Who's the saga? Vaughn?
Brian K. Vaughan?
Brian
Yeah,
Cable.
Vaughn.
That's a good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian K.
I like
would be a
this.
good choice.
It's kind of
Mix.
a
Dig
mix,
it.
Yeah.
which you wouldn't expect of me, but I do occasionally dabble in outside Marvel and DC properties
Okay.
on comics. So
Amanda, would you like to take a question from the chat?
Here.
And
Yeah,
then mix
so
it
let's-
up a little
So
bit?
we got some questions for the chat. So the first one that I think would be a good one to do is Chromax Presents, which is also Basti, for those of you who have been following him for a while. He asked, where did we all first meet?
This is complicated. We'll have to
Oh,
go
wow.
down
We'll
the
have to go down the line.
Okay,
Maddie,
start with the
you
oldest
should tell
first.
the story of how we met.
Yes, let's start with me first. So,
This is Andrew,
now,
not some homeless guy that we could have.
Andrew,
But that would
here.
make for good advertisement. Hey,
he's our
you
most
need to get that
handsome
shirt.
member that we
Oh,
hide
man.
behind the camera. So real quick, first of all, I met Tina first, and then through Tina I met Omar, and then through
Yeah.
Omar everyone else. However, Dan's is the most interesting story. So I've been a fan of Near Mint for a while. So since it started, I would watch all the videos regularly. And I even got like a nice memories. I was like, hey guys, watch my friend's live show. They're really cool. And I watched it so much, and I know Omar and Tina so well, that I assume I've met everyone. So at Lexington
Love
Toy and
this.
Comic Con, I see Dan. I was there doing shoots at the con. I see Dan by himself, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I go up. I'm like, hey Dan, how's it going?
I'm like, hey!
My
It's so
friend
good to see
Dan.
you. And then halfway through the interaction, I was like, oh wait, he does not know who I am. And I'm like, oh my god, Dan, I'm so sorry. You don't know me. I watched the show. I'm friends with Omar.
I was just like, because I've had that exact same experience, like meeting authors or things where it's like, I feel like we're talking to each other all the time, but you
Yeah.
don't know who
You know who I
I
am?
am.
Yep.
And but like you can't, and let's be honest, I if somebody talks to me like that, I'm just gonna assume that I've met them before, which is pretty much what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did very well. You're like, oh hey, yeah, it's going great.
Hey,
know?
person.
How's it going?
and then so after that, like to any of my other friends and my boyfriend at the time, still my boyfriend, I think, yeah.
Yes, that's also when I met him.
Yeah, I was like, my best friend Dan. It's my best friend Dan. We know each other forever. My best friend. But yeah, that's my quick
That's good.
story. But the rest, a lot of you grew up together.
Yeah, a lot of
We-
you did grow up
Yeah,
together.
Andrew and I were in the same orphanage, and Dan.
That sounds
Dan's
about
parents
right.
adopted us.
Yeah,
They put me
I
back
moved to Kentucky, and
No.
I was not Catholic, but I came into high school with all the Catholic kids from Good Shepherd.
That makes sense.
Andrew and I were at the West Side School.
West Side.
East side.
East side.
Jesus Christ, Dan!
That's
There's only,
not even
there's
sorry.
only two sides
Guys,
to Frankfurt.
I need to commit
You are-
ritual suicide. I am so ashamed. And then I met Rob in college, I guess.
I'm
Ish. College-ish.
There was Tupperware and orgies involved in that.
like we
One
started
of those
going
words is
to,
true.
like we knew each other before we were going to your Halloween parties,
Right.
and we were going to your Halloween parties at the end of college.
Yes, that's right.
So
That's right.
I mean, I knew you through Andrew.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I had no clue that you also knew Omar
Yeah.
separately.
Yeah, we had a
So-
separate thing going. I met Andrew in the 3rd grade, met Dan in high school, met Rob in college, met Tina in my basement.
Wait,
All
what?
great.
Wait, no.
I
You
also
met
met-
at the library where I talked about furries, and you were like, "I'm digging this chick."
Oh yeah, you were talking about butts, like furries' butts, and I'm like, in.
I met
Okay.
Tina in Near Mint Condition episode 1.
This is Tina.
I've known Amanda for over a decade now.
Yeah.
She married my cousin, and she's been part of the family, and we hung out for a long time.
Yep. That's my story. Omar told it for me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I thought you were moderating.
I am moderating the chat, yeah. But no, yes. So I met his cousin Corey, spring break 2008. I was graduating from college, and I don't know what he was doing at the time, but it doesn't matter. First time I met Omar, and actually, I think you guys, definitely Rob was there, because I have pictures of him was at his wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And they all said I looked like Billy Piper, so apparently
Still
that
does.
was, so apparently that was a big thing. And yeah, so then eventually I got to know Dan and Tina and Maddie through Omar, because, you know, when we moved to Arkansas, came back, and I would visit, and we'd meet all these people, and that's how we got
A
connected.
lot of parties.
A lot of parties.
Like, I
Yes.
trusted Omar so much after
I don't
coming
know
down
why.
his basement that I went to Rob's house.
Yeah.
That's
And
true.
he immediately, like, got me, and he's like, "You know, I like you. You're cool." And I was just like, "Okay."
Yeah, I was holding her like this.
Yeah, he did literally do that.
So one quick question. This is for
Question.
Omar, I
Wait,
think.
wait, wait, I want to say
oh,
I met you
oh,
people.
sorry. I'm
That's
sorry.
okay, that's okay.
Just come over here.
Okay. Well, let me pause real quick. I'm going to stop and restart the stream real quick.
Bye,
Okay.
guys. See
We'll
you
be
next
right
year.
back.
Bye, guys.
Oh, we're restarting the stream. Don't freak out. Shout out to my boy Omni Dog, who's one of the
wants-
members of 11 O'Clock Comics.
Okay, hopefully it's restarted.
Just cause Jess entered the chat. Aw.
Well,
Oh, I see the bye guys in Tia's face.
It should
What
be.
happened?
It should be seamless. It should be seamless.
Okay.
Be on now. Yep.
Oh, wait, we back on?
Yep.
Hey,
Oh,
welcome
we're
back. We
All
have
right,
more.
Rob, keep going.
Okay.
Keep it
I'll make
going.
it super quick. Phrasing. I
What?
met you when I worked at Babbage's, America's Computer
Yeah,
Software
we were
headquarters.
mall
Nothing but
rats.
Babbage's
Y'all remember
better
Mall
than that.
Rats? That's what we were.
Babbage's only. There you go. You're welcome. What?
Nothing.
I'm from the
No, I
north.
want-
We
that
didn't
was-
have
I
a
was your-
Babbage's.
I was your
I don't
beat.
know what
Oh,
this
okay.
is.
you just had EB games.
Everybody
We
has
did have
bad
EB games.
bitches.
Yeah.
Yes, we had
Everybody's
EB
got bad
games.
bitches.
Yep, Babbage's
Oh,
in my
no.
life. Dan, like you said, met in college because I knew him.
Ish. Sometime
Ish.
around there.
And we started coming to our Halloween parties, which were epic.
He
epic,
has really
epic,
good Halloween
epic,
parties.
epic. Andrew, I met also in college, yes?
Yes.
Yes, met in college. We're all computer science majors, all doing programs, helping each other out. Maddie, the first time I met her in real life, this is burned into my brain. We were at a Lexington Japanese festival,
Yeah.
and she ran up to me and was like, I see you in Near Mint Condition, and you like video games, and I like video games. Like, oh my gosh,
I
this
think I
girl.
mentioned Dragon Quest.
Yeah, you mentioned Dragon Quest. And I was
Yeah.
like, no one knows what Dragon Quest is. And I fell in love with her, and I have not changed again. So, Maddie, boom. Maddie's awesome. Amanda, I met at your wedding.
Yep.
And again, I have pictures of you looking exactly like Billy Piper. Yep. And Omar brought Tina to my house for one of our video game parties, I think. And Tina was talking about game stuff and animanga. And I was like, can you live in my basement? I'll feed you.
Yeah,
And
he
she
dragged
considered.
me upstairs. He was like, "Let me show you my game room." Why do men always drag me in
I
strange
did.
rooms of their house?
I did. I'll let you go eventually.
So real quick, we did get what's it called, super chat.
Super chat,
From
yeah.
Nathaniel8448, he said just because Jess entered the chat. That's
Yes.
because Jess, the Omnidog,
The
in the
Omnidog.
chat.
That
And
guy!
we do have to shout out, he has a really good question, and I think we need to answer it.
Which is what?
What kind of weirdo puts cranberry juice in his bourbon?
This motherfucker.
What's wrong with you?
So
One
there you
ice
go,
cube.
Jen.
When I went to visit Jazz, his wife was sweet
Nothing.
and bought me
No.
bourbon and
I'll
cranberry
just-
juice
yeah,
and
that's-
limes.
And Poco.
You know what? Oh, sure.
So Jess and Patty are really sweet people.
That's right.
There's some
Jess.
mouthwash in there.
All right.
All right, so
More
let's get back
wine.
to some of our previous questions. So another question we have, this one might be a little bit easy.
Oh, no!
That's all right. I got it.
Here, I
Andrew's
just
back.
poured some. Here, you got some.
You
So
have
they
it.
said it's a
So
little
this
chocolate,
question
but
is
a
from
little better.
Derek Chua from YouTube, and he asked, who among us are cat people versus dog people?
Tina can start this one.
Tina, go ahead.
Cat.
Oh,
Oh no.
Tina,
So
how
I'm-
many cats?
How many cats do you have, Tina?
I have 8 cats. I grew
Yes.
up with big German Shepherds, though, so it's not a fair question. I love both.
The question is, if you had to kill one forever, which one would you
Jesus Christ,
No.
Omar!
Well, this got a little
answer the
dark.
question,
All right,
Tina?
go down
Groundhog
the line.
Day.
Rob.
Animals for eating or riding, so neither.
Okay.
Okay.
Amanda.
I am 100% a dog person.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm a cat person, but I have a pug, and he's real dumb, and I love him. So there's exceptions.
Shouldn't talk about him.
Moose is a dumb dog. He's real dumb.
But he's
He
a
can't
good
breathe.
But
He's
he can't
a good
breathe.
beast.
And I love him. He's a little pug potato.
Okay.
Andrew, you cat dog person.
I am mostly a dog person. I do have a cat. I love my
So
cat.
do I, but
But I've got the cutest dog in the world.
Yeah.
do.
Your dog is
He's
really
a really
cute.
cute dog.
Yeah, your dog's cute.
So,
Mhm.
yep.
Dog.
The end.
yeah.
There's no
Sorry,
story.
Shinobi.
I grew up a cat person. I was a cat person because my mom was a cat person. My mom was a cat person because my grandma was a cat person because the dog bit her when she was young. It took my wife coming into my family to ask my grandmother about this story of what happened with the dog biting you. She said, "Oh, well, I hit it with an axe, and then it bit me."
Oh, well,
Okay,
you
well,
should
there's
be
some
alive.
context.
And since then, I've
You're
been
the
a
dog with an
person.
axe?
No, my grandma hit the dog
Oh.
with the axe.
Okay.
If I had to choose, I'd say a dog.
Monsters.
But
Yeah.
no.
All right.
Dog
Eat
dog
it.
now.
Next question. ¿Cómo empezaron a conocer el
Yeah.
mundo de los cómics? That's a good question.
Omar loved it.
Imperio Corporación. Okay. I had an appendix removed, like, from my body. So I had appendicitis. I was in the hospital for 7 days. This is a free children's clinic in Peru. And my uncle sent me some comics from America. And one of them was X-Men 168. Didn't read
Exactly.
English, but
Yeah.
my love of X-Men started there, and I kept getting them. Like, he kept sending them to me. So that's where it started. What about, where does your all's love of comics start?
Interestingly enough, mine actually started. My first comic was in Spanish. It was a Spanish copy of some Thor issue. I don't know what it was.
Wow,
I
that's
wish I
insane.
still had it.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
My grandmother who lived in Miami, her neighbor gave it to me. But then after that, it was with you, and you introduced me to X-Men.
That's what we do.
And
That's what we
Turok
do.
number 1.
Yeah, and then it
Turok
just
number
went
one,
downhill
really?
from there. Yeah.
Maddie?
Oh, I don't know. Fables is my first comic. I've been reading manga forever.
Fables.
Okay.
Yeah. But I didn't really get into everything until I really think that Annihilation really was the hook, line, and sinker. So the Cosmic Saga was really, because you recommended it to me, and I read that and I was like, oh, fuck, all right.
I'm in.
I
I'm
need
done.
another fandom, damn it. And now I do this
That's right.
fucking show.
Yeah, that's right. So now we have,
And I have
yeah,
all
now
these
we're reading-
damn comics. I love
Yeah.
you guys. My money does not, or my wallet does not.
Oh gosh, I know.
Amanda?
I think Omar is my biggest influence getting into comics. I'm an English major by trade. I read a lot. I've always read a lot of fiction, nonfiction. I was trying to get through the Hamilton autobiography, but that's a beast. And basically, I love the Marvel movies so much that Omar's like, well, you should read these comics, and started getting them
It's not
into
gonna
it.
end well.
And then he said, well, you should also be on my show. And that's about it. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this story before in some other
Yeah, somebody
Yeah, we
else.
have.
Somebody has asked
before, but
I think,
yeah, that's really much how I got into comics.
So Dan has 2 talents.
This is not going to work.
This is
Dan.
not going to work.
Okay.
This is not
This
one
might
of them.
improve the internet.
Yes, Marcel, he did
Okay,
forget to
don't touch.
translate
Don't
it.
touch.
It is how'd you first get into comics. That's
All right.
Yeah,
I
Omar
just
did not
assumed
share
everybody
it.
spoke Spanish.
I got into
Nope.
comics. I had a
you're there.
graphic novel of Transformers when I was little, but I really got into comics with those like 20 random comics in a poly bag, like
The
that you would
grab
get
bag?
at the
Yeah.
Walmart?
Yeah, at Walmart. And I got a couple of those. My parents just like picked them up for me when I was 10 or so. I was collecting baseball cards, and I had one of my best friend at the time, James. He was into comic books, and so my parents got these for me, and I was like, "Oh, this is great!" So like to this day, all the like, "Oh, it's a good jumping on point." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Fuck you!
Doesn't
Just
matter.
figure it out,
Just-
like we did when we were kids."
Oh,
Who are
yeah.
these people?
You just
I don't
jump
know.
in the middle.
Just
like-
start
Yeah.
writing.
Yeah.
Just start writing. You figure it out.
This guy with the claws has to be a bad guy, right?
The
Sorta is.
X-Men
He's kind of a
Marvel, like, animated, like, when was it, 93, 92, is
Yeah.
what got me into it, and we went really hardcore. Like, me and my brother, we even named our dog Wolvie. Unfortunately, I've fallen off the wagon a little bit, but I used to be really, really hard into comics. Like, 10-year-old me would just sit there and read it into my microphone, like my little recorder. Like, I remember reading, like, Omega Red and stuff like that when he's fighting, like, Wolverine and stuff and being really into it, but...
So for me, my mom got me a subscription when I was 10-ish. Oh. Snapchatting? Well, okay.
What LTE? I'm talking about the show.
Okay, 10-ish. I got one of those subscriptions where you get like a bunch of comics a month.
Yeah, they still do that, I think.
Maybe. So it was stuff like G.I. Joe, Transformers.
G.I. Joe was solid. Larry Hama.
And X-Men. So once I started getting into X-Men, I worked with my grandfather at his dry cleaners. And the convenience store down the way sold X-Men and X-Factor. So every week I would go work, and every week I would buy a copy of X-Men, X-Factor.
That's because X-Factor was the best.
X-Factor was not. That's something we should talk
Not-
about for.
Not really. Not really.
But that's
Had
how I
its
got into
moments.
comics. Yeah,
loved
that's how I got into X-Men.
Excalibur because
All right.
it was funny.
Let's move on to the next question.
Yeah, so let's do this question. Trish B, one of our followers from YouTube, had asked us if the six of you were the
wasn't
original
me.
6 Avengers from the movies, who would you be and why?
That's so hard.
It's a hard question.
I'd say you're Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You are
I
the
agree with that.
foundation, and you also have a goatee.
Captain America.
Captain America,
Yes,
100%.
Okay, I'll take
absolutely.
it.
Yes.
That's right. It's America's ass.
Language.
You want to stand up and show me your no?
I prefer not to. Thank you.
This is a hard
Alright.
question because I go
Is
by
Andrew or Nick Fury?
You have to
personality.
say that.
Oh.
Nick Fury.
You
are
there
the
we
eye
go.
that
You are
watches.
the eye that watches
Alright, alright.
everything.
Creepy.
I'll take that.
Yeah, that's kind of creepy, but it works.
Okay, who would the other four?
Okay, so we've got Thor.
Yeah.
Thor.
We got
Black Widow. Hawkeye.
Hawkeye,
and
and Hulk.
Hulk? No.
Yeah.
No, Tina's Hulk.
You think
She's
so?
smart and has a temper.
And
Rob
she's-
is,
and
Rob is
she's little
Hawkeye.
when you're not
He's
paying
never
attention.
there
That
half
is
the
a
time.
Vixen, so I'm gonna
Rob
say
isn't
he's
here
Black
half the
Widow.
time,
You
so
don't need
he's
me. I'm in
Hawkeye.
Japan.
Yeah, Hawkeye. Okay.
Rob
okay.
is Hawkeye.
I want to
So-
be Thor.
You want to be Thor.
I
but-
want to be Thor.
So, but would you be Black Widow?
Man, I would be really sad if I was Black Widow.
Actually, I got it.
'Cause I died.
Dan's Black Widow because he's the prettiest one. Amanda's
true.
Captain
I was
America.
gonna say I'm Captain America because
Nah,
I
you're,
love
you're
America.
Hawkeye. You weren't part of Infinity
And
War.
I have you seen my ass.
Could I break out and not
Language.
be the original 6 and just be Scarlet Witch?
And
Yeah.
Fuck it. Why not?
Out of bounds.
Yeah, at this point.
doesn't count.
Add Scarlet Witch. You could be her. I guess I could be Black Widow if that's okay. Oh, Philip Evans. He finally got the super chat to work. Congrats.
Thank you,
And
Philip.
thank
Yeah.
you.
All right, what's the super chat question?
He didn't have a question
And he
yet.
just
It's
said-
just the first part, so we're waiting for the second
All right,
one.
says,
shout out
first
to
off,
Andrew. Doesn't get enough
congrats.
love.
Shout out to Andrew.
Look, read that, bud. Oh wait.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does the iPhone
All right.
have
All right, so
chat
while
now?
we wait on his second
Let's do another
part,
question. Okay, so Benjamin Pineris wants to know, Omar, what's the secret story behind your secret pact with Marvel?
my daughter, my 6-year-old daughter, 7 now,
Mhm.
Alicia, said, "Hey," because we went out to Free Comic Book Day as the family, and it was the one day that I'm like, I don't feel like filming. I feel like just doing this with my family.
That's
And my
what you
youngest daughter said, "Why aren't you filming?" And I'm like, "Because I just want to have fun." She's like, "Let's," and she said something like, "I want to be in a video." And I'm like,
Aw.
"Sure." Right? Okay, let's do it. And that video was shared with somebody at Marvel that shared it with the gentleman that reached out to me. And he was like, he found my family really wholesome and he found me pretty funny. So he thought I was a video blogger. Like he didn't know I was doing Marvel stuff. And I'm like, when I talked to him on the phone, I'm like, "Oh Jesus, please don't tell me you looked at the videos where I'm looking at the camera going, God damn it, Marvel, get your shit together." But he did, and he still reached out to us. So that's the
awesome.
secret. I have my 7-year-old daughter Alicia to thank for that.
That's
That's
awesome.
really
Muchas
sweet.
gracias, Alicia.
She speaks English too.
That's great.
Thanks, baby.
So we're still since we're still waiting on Philip's next question. Actually, let's one from Stephen M from YouTube, and he says he wants to know if we can do more manga related stuff like reviews, comparisons of quality, different publishers, etc.
We got
I'm
you.
gonna start doing all that.
There we go.
Maddie and I got you.
Yeah, so Steve, we're basically we already shot our first video this week. I have to go to China for a couple weeks and then we'll start back up. But Tina and I are going to start doing anime and manga related videos.
Mhm.
So if anyone here has any ideas of stuff they'd like to see, feel free to shoot a message to our Facebook, Instagram, whatever.
Like,
And-
would you like sort of anime-related things? Would you like us to review things that you're not watching or things that you missed? Or would you like to suggest older animes or mangas that we haven't read that you might be interested in our take on it or our views on it? That'd be interesting.
Yeah, so
We're just checking the video because we
any
know it's a little choppy. Sorry.
any ideas you have, just let us know, because we're going to start jumping on that. Because we will be reviewing every season of anime, what's coming out, anime movies as they come out, and then we'll be revisiting older anime, different manga and stuff. So be in the lookout, but definitely let us know what your top, what you really want, and that way we can prioritize those.
Did Philip ever get his question in?
No, not yet.
He's working on it.
I'm gonna answer this one. Could you guys stream with less clothes on? Yes, we could. Are we going to?
No.
Well,
Probably.
Omar
Hold
has.
on.
I mean,
Wait,
look.
check this out.
You want to see America's ass?
Here, Rob, take your hat off. There we go. Let's close.
Look at that.
Did it.
Patreon.
Omar's basement is really cold, actually. So
It's pretty
Yeah,
hot.
so we're not doing that.
What the fuck?
Here's a fun question McNoodles had posted in our chat, and he asked if any of us could armpit fart.
yes,
That guy's here. That guy's here.
but
No.
I'm wearing too many
Nope, too
clothes.
bad.
But yeah, I
He
can.
was on our video game.
So
He was
Tina
in our video
can,
game.
and perhaps in a Patreon we might actually get to see that one day.
In a Patreon.
We'll see.
Into that.
No, really. So somebody asked us why, the reason we started Patreon was because we needed better equipment.
Yes.
Apparently better Wi-Fi because
Apparently better Wi-Fi.
we're choppy right now. So that's our first thing
That's
we're
the
gonna
first
buy.
thing we need.
So next question.
Yeah.
From the chat or from?
Yeah, we can do from the chat. Lord Logan had asked, have any of us read Injustice Years 1 through 5?
I haven't yet. I've been playing the video games pretty religiously. I love playing Injustice 2, but it's been on my list.
I know that's where that popular picture of Superman punching through the Joker comes from. Because I've always wanted to read it, so I may wait for the omnibus.
Yeah, let's do a review once it comes out.
That's a big omnibus.
You're
You're asking me to commit.
I'll do it.
There we go. She's a faster
My
reader.
girl's
There you
in
go.
it, and Booster Gold's in it, so I'll read it.
All right. Here's a question we had from Ben Jones from YouTube, and he asked us, what film, TV show, comic, or video game do we think would work better in a different medium? Okay.
Okay, me first.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We actually didn't we talk about this?
We did one on
Well,
what
we
would
did what would make a good anime.
So everything was anime focused, yeah.
So there are several of these things, and I'm sure Maddie can kind of contribute. But for video games, as much as I loved playing all 100 hours of Red Dead Redemption 2, Red Dead Redemption 2 would be a fantastic movie. Fantastic.
Really? I
movie.
think that was called Young Guns.
No, that was a
The
game
bad,
on
the
I
PlayStation.
think it was called The Outlaw Josie Wales.
Every trope you can think of in a cowboy thing was in Red Dead Redemption, so it worked
Or in
well.
cowboy movies.
Yes, but watching it
I
as
think
a
it was
cinematic
called
thing, because
consumption movie.
my wife loved whenever I played this game, but she would just go to sleep when I was riding my horse through things. So I think Red Dead would be really good, and also Dragon Quest XI, which I finally finished after 104 hours. 104 hours. Yes, I play video games. That would be a fantastic anime. Hush! Don't give me that look. Don't give me that look. I have 3 kids. I'm
Tina?
forced to do anything. Go ahead.
What works as a better medium? Like what would work?
As a
What
better
anime
medium.
would you rather see as a movie or as a book?
You
I
know,
don't see anything as a
would-
book.
Oh, I've
And I know this will probably come. I would actually like to see My Hero Academia as a live action film.
Yeah.
Done not
That'd
here
be
in
cool.
America, but in Japan.
Yeah.
I think
Who are
it,
you gonna
would
cast
be very
as-
nice.
Well, the
Deku?
big guy. What's his name?
Oh,
big-
definitely like a
big show.
large, silly American. You're talking about All Might?
Me too.
You know what I wish they
I'm
would do?
gonna go ahead and say
live-action
yes.
movies.
You got a deal, Undisputed Buka. Just saying, they don't. They haven't seen it, but I say
No,
yes.
no, we saw it.
We saw it. We said for
They-
$100.
They came to an
Yeah.
agreement. It's an understanding. It's just everybody has a buying price.
I would say Monster should be a show.
That's
It should have already been an HBO show. I know we've already talked. I know that there's been talks about it happening, but Monster deserves to be a television show. The anime is wonderful, but I want to see it live action. I think it's as far as all anime manga goes. I feel like Monster is the one that would translate best to American television. Sorry.
I agree. I agree with
Yeah.
that. I agree with that.
I could see that.
I have nothing to add because I think a lot of these things have already happened.
That's
Like
the
Castlevania,
problem.
I've always
Yeah.
wanted to see as an
Yeah.
anime,
Fantastic.
and it's
Right.
happened.
Yeah.
And it's happened.
Right? So a lot of these things have already happened, and I'm happy. The only other thing I would add is just Conan as an anime, and I've already said that in
What
my...
about
Yeah.
Berserk?
Conan,
The Conan O'Brien show.
Berserk needs to be left
Love-
alone as
I
a
love that.
manga.
They
I'd really
adapted the
like to see a
comics so
live
well.
action Transformers adaptation.
That'll
There
never
you go.
work.
Get off the show. Get off the show.
Kill yourself.
I think I
I
slept
know,
through that
I
movie.
know. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, next question.
All right, next question. Let's see. Let's go to someone in the chat, and I think we can ask. Marcelo Ramos has an interesting question he asked earlier. Is the diversity of the group intentional, or is it just a sign of how diverse America really is?
Are we
So
Do
diverse?
you know how hard I had to fight to get on this show?
We don't need any more white man
We
representation.
had
Why?
35 white guys apply for this position. In
Those
inside the
guys can't make it.
I think the way I see my friends is the way that I would play an RPG. I collect people.
You need
from
the
different
fat
parts.
dude, the chick healer.
But I end up with a lot more creepier guys than I need in my party. That happens to me a lot.
Man.
I really don't know. I mean, because it's different here in Kentucky.
Yeah. It is.
When I was
Well,
when I
in
was
Lexington,
well,
Kentucky.
no. When I was in Central Kentucky, growing up in Central Kentucky, I was the only Latino in our high school. And that was in the years 92 to 96. And we had 5 black kids. That's it. Now that diversity has changed a lot, right? It's a lot more now. But back when I was in high school, yeah, that's all it was. So I don't think it was forced. It just kind of came together. We all had a certain hobby we were all into, comic books,
Yeah.
Transformers, whatever it was that brought us together.
Well, and
I don't think.
I will say though, I mean, you guys are my friends who I do this with.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one.
That's,
We also got asked kind of about the origins of the show, and that kind of bleeds into that
it
same
does.
question.
It really
Okay.
does.
Because one of the reasons we started doing this was you and I used to do the podcast together, and that was our outlet for talking about this stuff. Because you know what, the whole thing, kids and spouses and work, and you know what, my coworkers like to josh me about the Transformers in my office, but they don't want to talk about Transformers.
Yeah.
Neither do mine,
Dan
yeah.
is right.
So it's you are my friends who do this.
And
There is a true origin to this show, and Dan kind of hit it. So what happened was him and I used to have a podcast many years ago. It was called About Heroes. Don't look it up. It's not worth it.
It's not
It's-
there.
but-
anymore.
fantastic. It's on iTunes.
But we had a
5-star
lot of
reviews.
fun doing it, and I missed that. And where I worked at a comic book store, and I'm an outgoing person. I really miss talking to people about these things because in everyday life, when you get to be a grown up, this doesn't happen. You find one or two friends. Amanda and I would text about movies and things
Yeah.
like that. But it's so much different than talking to people about these things.
And even now that geek culture is more
Mainstream.
mainstream,
It's
still not the same.
hard because
No. Because everyone's favorite show is Big Bang Theory, which is just literally just making fun of
That
being
show
a
is
nerd.
garbage.
wait,
I'm sorry.
Big
If
Bang
you
is
love
garbage.
Big Bang Theory,
we
but
just
it's
lost 30
making-
viewers. We just
Sorry.
lost 30
It's
viewers.
making fun of who we are.
We're down to
And it's
2
reducing
Patreons.
us
When
to
they talk about
jokes.
Mario Kart,
I'm sorry.
I was like,
it's
no.
whatever.
cut it off. Yeah, Big Bang Theory.
Anyways.
But-
All right, I do have a question from Kyle, who's one of our biggest Patreon
Yes.
supporters.
Kyle.
He says you get one thing from pop culture to take to an island with you,
Oh.
Ooh,
a
that's
desert
fun.
island. What is it?
Wait, is there
Think, wait,
electricity? Is there
Think
electricity?
Wilson from the volleyball from Castaway.
A pop
What?
culture boat.
Is there electricity on this island?
The one from
A
Jaws?
disco
No,
cruise.
The boat from Gilligan's Island.
I'm gonna assume there's electricity on this island.
You guys suck.
No.
What?
There's electricity on this island, and I have
It's
a
a
hard
desert
many
island.
hypotheticals.
Hold on. There's electricity on the island, and I have a 4 terabyte hard drive. So I'm gonna bring my PlayStation 4. That way, because I can download all my old games.
But there's not a television.
There's a
Oh, you're
TV too.
fucked,
No,
dude.
there's
you brought a
TV too.
PS4. It's a brick.
It's all my old games and
which
my
is the
new
way you
games
play
on
it now
PlayStation 4.
anyway. So it's.
If I can't bring the PlayStation
Zing.
4, the 3DS or the Switch, because I can download all my games to that. There is electricity on this island because there's solar and
Sure,
there's
sure,
monkey.
you're a god
That's
of this
fine.
island. That's fine. Tina.
Oh no, come back to me. I'm thinking. It's,
Okay,
it's
man.
a hard
Already answered the
One
question.
Think
3DS.
of pop culture.
From pop culture.
Anything for pop culture.
That is
The
right.
Love Boat.
Does it have to be like?
All right, Kyle says yes.
Oh,
There's
does it
electricity.
have to be like a line?
3DS, Switch, PS4.
All right.
Can I bring Tom Holland Spider-Man with me?
Creepy. Yeah. You know what's gonna happen? He's gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm not into chicks," and you're gonna be like, "That's okay. I'll watch." Maddie, that was a weird answer.
I don't know.
Bad answer. Thanos' gauntlet.
I'd want to.
Oh, then you could change everything.
I would just want to be able to play Suikoden 2. That made me happy forever.
See? PS4!
That's the only thing I need.
Okay.
HMS.
Andrew, pop culture.
I think I would just take Fortress Maximus because I'm gonna go crazy anyway. I might as well do it while transforming
Okay,
all day
okay.
long. Yeah.
There you go.
None of these
Good
fools have
better
thought
answer.
about getting off this island. I'm gonna
No.
take the DeLorean from Back to the Future to travel back in time and go hang out.
that
Okay,
makes
Dan did with a.
Did anyone say the
You're
TARDIS?
assuming
I'll
there's-
take it back. I said the TARDIS.
I went with the DeLorean. That's cooler than the TARDIS, but whatever.
It's bigger
All
on the
right.
inside.
So
Whatever.
Kyle, there's your answers, buddy. I hope we delivered. A
Or
lot of
something.
video game people. Tina, what did you take?
Okay, I would take my PS4.
It's
PS4! You can play everything!
Then you,
Okay,
then you
look-
three are on your own
Goodness
island.
Think about it.
You can stream Crunchyroll, Funimation. You can play video games.
And you can play
Or you
dating
could
sims.
go
Are you
home.
alone? Are you lonely? Don't
mean-
worry. Dating sims.
Yeah, because if there's electricity, that
You have
implies
your
there's
waifu
internet.
and your husbando. All in one place.
Hey,
I'm gonna
hey,
slide in with my DeLorean going, you stupid bitches.
You can play the nonary games and figure out a
No,
way
I don't play
to
them
save
now.
the island.
Seek a way out.
Yes,
Oh
take away out.
my gosh.
All right. next
Another question.
next
Okay, another question. Oleg Margolin had asked us, what are our other hobbies? So obviously they all know what we're into. We're on the show, but what do we do outside of the show, like for fun?
I'll
It's
go
not.
first.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Please.
I'm
Okay.
really boring, so I crochet and cross stitch, but I do
How
like
old are you? 100,000 years old?
100,000 years old, but I cross stitch like nerdy.
Lord
things.
Logan is an awesome answer.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Rob, what are your other hobbies?
So other my hobbies other than video games, I guess you could say
Destroying your liver.
Yep.
yes, bourbon. I do collect so as many video games as I have. There is not the equivalent, but there's a ton of bourbon and spirits at my house. And I was also gonna say like
Kentucky.
general technology. So
Uh-huh.
as much as I love like video
I think
games,
it's pretty obvious.
I also love like phones, computers, processors, HD, all that stuff. That's on me too. So
Yeah.
bourbon and tech
Okay.
and Jesus. Go ahead.
Shout out to Jesus.
His name is Jesus. He's not on right now.
He's on the super chat.
He got cheap on us and then joined the Patreon.
So many memes.
I think my other outside hobbies is, as weird as it is to say, is working out. I do it a lot and I love it, and I always look, and I can say that, but I actually like am the kind of person who follows different like fitness. I don't say models, but fitness people on like Instagram and stuff. I buy their different like products and I try different routines out. And I love to run a lot, so I do that as well. Except my knee hurts right now.
You
as everyone
enjoy
says.
running?
I do. I love running.
Thinking
It's
about
the
running
only
hurts my
thing.
face.
It is the only thing I love to do as far as cardio. Except dancing. I love to dance. So
She does love to
Zumba.
dance.
I do
guess
love
could
to
do that one.
dance.
Yeah.
If you ever see me at a wedding, it gets pretty
She's
insane.
one
I
of
have
those-
pictures. Hold on, I can bring them up.
Yes, let's go.
She's
out.
one of
Where's the
those
camera?
rare white girls that gets out on the dance floor before
no
the
one ever wants to
liquor.
go dancing.
Okay. Patreon.
I do photography, so I do cosplay photography in my free time. I also play Tina and I both do a lot of board games.
Yes.
So
So
many
that's
board
another
games.
one.
I collect board games as well. So we have a whole, like, in my comic book room, it's like, oh, comics, this is really nice. And then you open up the closet, and it's just board games.
Like, if anybody knows her, like, I'll also force games on, like, other people. I'm like, here's my, hey, we're hanging up. Here's my bag
Yeah,
of board games.
it's adorable. We invite
It
Tina
is.
over just for drinks, and she's like, okay. She packs like 45 board games. She's like, what are we
True.
playing tonight, guys?
Monopoly.
You guys want
Let's
to play
do
Cats
House on
versus Zombies?
And Tina and I also cosplay. So
Yeah.
we're both pretty active in the cosplay community. I'm always making new cosplays, especially if they're old RPGs. If there's a group of an old RPG, I'm in it. No question. We're playing Legend of Dragoon right now. And for MagFest, I'm planning a Sid from Final Fantasy group. You heard right. All of the Sids. Every one of them.
I'm not in that one.
I'm going to take this time to remind you to hit that like button.
Yes, don't forget, guys. hit that
Like,
and
subscribe,
button.
share.
Enter.
Nice. Probably the biggest other hobby I have right now is playing music.
Playing music.
Playing music, yes, like playing instruments.
Guitar or drums.
Yeah. So
Andrew's a mad
most
drummer.
recently, I've been
That's
learning
true.
how to play Irish music, which is really like out in left field for me. But my wife Irish dances, and so a few friends in that group, we've all started playing various instruments. So I've been learning how to play this tiny little bass guitar, which doesn't normally come in Irish music, but we're making it work. And yeah,
That's
and I
awesome.
also
Because I've heard you drum before, and your drum is fantastic.
I drum a
Andrew,
lot, yeah. But
Shoot
more
my
recently,
wife
yeah.
a message because she's really into medieval music with her mandolin and her
Ooh.
soprano
Oh, there you go.
whistle.
Yeah,
We're
that
gonna
would be
start
a
a-
perfect fit.
A little band, a merry band to play at the Ren Fair.
That's right.
I got bass. Wait, no, you got bass.
I got this.
Man, I do have a lot of other hobbies. I like to draw, but I don't
Yeah,
have the time to do it anymore.
Yeah. That's
So
exactly
the one
the
thing
point.
that I do like to do is I'm a storyteller. I love writing stories, but I don't get to do that often, so I do it through my kids. So for the last 5 years, we've had one story I've been telling them. It's usually every night or every other night. And it's a continuation of a story about these characters that I made up, and they love it. These characters are idiots, so I like making voices up for them too. And then we play we call Pokemon School, like the characters. I borrow a lot from my real life friends in the way that these characters come out, so it's a lot of fun. So that's the way I get my outlet, because I don't have any time to do anything else besides this show.
Yeah,
Well,
true.
I do that too.
that's a really good answer. I collect pens and stationery.
Work life.
Yeah.
Pens, not
Pens.
pens.
Yeah, no.
Pens. Oh,
No.
you
No
pens.
pens,
writing
like legit
pens.
pens. is what
Okay,
he's
I thought you
saying.
Fountain
said
pens
pins.
and
Okay.
well, I
You
mean,
collect
I also
pins,
collect
too.
pins.
Pins.
Yes,
Okay.
Kentucky pens.
Yeah.
Everything's pens.
I run
Right.
also,
Right.
and I also like Roman history and whatnot. and
Show your
all of
tat,
that in general.
man.
This one?
Not the
one?
Autobot one.
Yeah. So
Yeah, he's part of the Roman government. He's owned by the government.
Oh, you
that's
are?
right. Yes,
That's
yes.
interesting.
I'm owned
Got
by
a
the Roman
stamp?
government.
All right, next question.
Next question.
That was a good
This
question.
is from Travis Graham on Facebook. He wants to know what everyone's favorite TV show ever
That's
is.
so hard.
Firefly.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, that wasn't hard for
No,
Omar.
it was
2
not.
for Firefly.
It just
Let's try that again.
It ended.
There we go.
It ended perfectly because it didn't get a chance to be bad like most shows.
Yeah.
By the time you were like, I want more. Oh, it's gone.
This is like anime.
Dude, just whatever.
It isn't anything you
I'm
want.
going to go with the opposite of not having a chance to end
Dawson's
badly
Creek?
and go with the original Star Trek series,
Nice.
which
Yes.
which kind of ended badly, but
Good.
yeah, it was probably the most influential for me.
Yep.
I think I would definitely say,
Buffy,
I don't know.
because you watched the last 2 seasons.
shut up. Nope.
Language.
Yeah. I don't know. Come back to me. I'm trying to think. Because at first I wanted to say Friends, but it's not like it's easy to watch, but it's
That
not
was
like
gonna be
it's-
my answer. I was like,
Friends.
I was like, what show can I watch over and
Oh,
over
that's
again?
what I was thinking. Well,
And I was
Friends,
like,
or
man,
The
people,
Office.
people are gonna hate this, but Friends.
Oh,
If
God,
it's
Kira-
anime, I'd say Gurren Lagann. But if we're talking like just regular TV shows, unfortunately or fortunately, it's Friends because I can't rate all the other genre
Ooh, see,
TV
if we're doing
shows.
that, it might have to be Parks and Rec.
See,
Ooh,
might be
that's a good
Friends.
one, too.
But
See, if
another
we're doing
one,
that, then I'd have to go with Always
but
Sunny.
another one I watch all the time, which is weird because it's Avatar: The Last Airbender. Because
That's
it is
good.
a perfect show,
a good show.
from beginning to
That's
end.
a
It-
really
And
good
I can
one.
watch it now with my daughter, and
My
I have
arm
no
itches.
qualms
My
about
muscle.
it.
Yeah.
But that
Yeah.
is one of my favorite. I don't know why.
It's just Dan.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah.
All right.
For me, it would be, like you said, Tingatoppa Gurren Lagann.
Okay.
Or Dragon Ball, but like you can't really sit down and watch
Just one,
Dragon
Rob.
Ball.
Just
Yeah,
one, Rob.
yeah,
Just
Oh,
one.
man, that's so hard because I have an anime one. And okay, so anime one would be Please Save My Earth, which is technically an OAV of compilation, and then The Next Generation, Star
Yeah.
Trek,
Yes.
which was
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
Trek.
Which, again, talking about things that don't necessarily
Captain,
age
oh,
as well
Captain.
as
The Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
No, I
some of
love
those
Next
episodes
Gen.
are still really
Well,
good.
TNG's still good.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Some.
Next
Although,
question.
Man,
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
a Deep Space Nine fan.
There you go.
Okay.
Nerds.
coming out.
This was an interesting. I think his name is M Gibbs is I think his name, and he's on the chat, and he asked us if we can name our top 2 or 3 streaming services, considering cost and content.
HBO.
Yeah, I would say HBO is one of my top. I'm trying to think what I usually watch.
I don't know.
HBO,
I bought all of
Netflix.
Amanda's, so if whatever she says.
So
What do you
cost
know?
is not an issue for him.
Why do you say it like that?
I don't know. What's the relation?
Netflix?
I would say Netflix
Yeah.
and HBO
Dude,
are my top
Netflix
2.
is turning into
Those are my
like the
two.
Xbox. Of
But when
streaming.
Disney Plus comes out, that will be my
Yeah.
number 1.
Amazon Prime is killing it lately,
It is.
too.
They've been to have a lot of
Well, that's
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel's a great show.
The answer
You
for
know
me is
Mrs. on
Amazon
there?
Prime. Amazon Prime.
I don't know. I still really love Hulu.
What about your
I watch a
Crunchyroll?
lot of.
So
Crunchyroll.
it depends on if you're a sub or dub fan. If you are a sub, Crunchyroll's definitely.
If
They
you're a
do have
dub
English.
fan,
If you're a dub
Crunchyroll.
fan, then I say Funimation. They're both really, really cheap. I have both, and I lend Maddie.
I use Tina's. Well, I use both of them.
Your cousins, that's why.
Absolutely, we're
Same
family.
household.
Same household.
I can see the resemblance.
I like Hulu because I like to watch all of the sitcoms all the time. It's just nice to have that mindless entertainment to rely on every day. I wake up like, okay, I'm gonna watch American Housewife, It's just nice because I watch all these serious things too. I want to watch all the fun stuff every day.
On the opposite side of that, I really like the Criterion Channel, but I'm not going to pay for it.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just something.
Didn't
you
they
can't-
have the
It's so
Criterion
expensive.
collection?
on Hulu? They did.
'Cause I
for
watched a
while,
bunch of
but I
those.
think they
Yeah,
got
but
rid
now
of
it's
it.
now it's like its own.
Yeah, of course it is because everyone's
What
trying to
old
do that.
band is gonna
Everybody's
stream
doing
that?
their own service.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Yeah.
interested to see what
Streaming and
happens
cable.
with
All right,
Warner Brothers. Oh,
next
okay.
question.
Next question. Leighton Watson wants to know. I watched Screams 1 and 4 recently, and Scream 1 really does hold up. What are some slasher movies y'all have fond memories of?
Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
I know what you did last summer. Oh, okay.
Those are good answers. Nightmare on Elm Street 3, all the way.
I'm a little biased
Jennifer Love Hewitt, yeah.
because of where I work. But Friday 13th. Like,
Which one?
The first one. Go watch the first one again. It's fantastic.
You do realize that Jason doesn't appear in that one, right?
Spoilers! You're ruining it!
Just saying.
I always love was it Full Moon or Blue Moon Productions?
Which one did you go with? I know what you did last summer.
That or is Faculty a slasher fic? Probably not.
It was one of those all the
It's
pretty people
ish.
on the front cover days.
I
I-
love
I'll call
Texas
it.
Chainsaw Massacre.
Robert Rodriguez did it. So
Yeah.
that's fun.
I would call it.
Every-
Which
I
one?
love- I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The remake.
Ooh,
came out.
Remake.
I really like that.
Did
I never
you
saw the
watch it
original.
before the
You
original?
watched the original?
It's
Okay.
either that or Halloween because I love Jamie Lee Curtis.
The
Yeah.
original Halloween or
Yeah.
the remake? Okay.
Oh, you guys
Actually,
have like
I love
Halloween.
every iteration of Halloween. I don't care how bad they are.
Halloween Water? You like that one too?
Yeah.
Oh, pretty
H2O.
bad.
H2 terrible.
No, Nightmare on Elm Street 3 is the correct answer. Because it's Frank Darabont, it's Wes Craven, and then it's got the amazing Dream Warriors song.
Mm-hmm.
We're the Dream Warriors. Yeah,
I
man,
love
that's
the
80s,
cheesy
dude.
Yeah, that's a
80
good one.
ones like Dolls. Did anybody ever
Yep.
watch Dolls?
It's not
I
a
love
slasher
Dolls.
flick.
Leprechaun
Slasher is
2.
like
Child's Play, is that what you're thinking of?
Leprechaun in the Hood.
Yeah.
Leprechaun in the Hood. Oh man, that was. Funny.
Whenever they go to
Was
space
it-
is when they lose it. Hellraiser in space, Jason X, Leprechaun in
Yeah.
space.
Dracula X, yeah.
It's so hard. I'm not
I,
like
I
a
would put the
slasher.
Faculty not as, but I know what you did last summer is definitely a slasher.
It
flick.
is, and of course, it came out at a time when all those actors and
You
stuff. I
wouldn't
was
say-
young enough to love them all, and so that makes sense.
She didn't say stab.
That's not Scream.
Oh yeah,
Scream.
and Buffy was in it, so that's true.
Scream is Wes Craven. That's what he said. Leighton said he'd watch 1 and 4.
Yeah.
I remember Silent Bob and Jay were in the third one. All right, Dan, what would you? You're not much of a horror guy.
No,
though.
I don't have
Andrew,
one.
horror.
No, I didn't really have one. Although the original Halloween, I think.
It's a classic.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a good one.
I'm actually,
Original
I'm actually
Halloween,
taking
original
some
Friday.
good recommendations here.
Original Texas.
You writing this down?
Yes.
Liar.
All right.
Next question.
Next question. The next question we have, D-Control asked us if any of us play Magic the
Shopping
Gathering.
Mall. That's good.
Dan's kid does.
Yes, Dan's kid does.
Despite what's the
I've
dance
played.
shirt?
I've played a bit. It was one of those. I had a good friend who played it and who tried his best to get me into it, and I enjoyed doing it, but it never went beyond that. And then Tim,
Mm-hmm.
and then my son picked it up and he plays all the time. So I've played with him somewhat,
That's
and
always
he kicks
fun.
my ass every single time.
I play, but I only play with I don't collect the cards or anything because I don't like how you have to be up to date all the time. So I play with we'll have friends where we play cubes, so that they'll make a cube and we'll play out of that cube. But I actually play Final Fantasy TCG more. It's from the same guy who made Magic, but it's supposed to be made in a way that you don't have to buy all the newest ones, and it has special art from all the Final Fantasies. And so my fiance and I play the Final Fantasy.
I think I have
TCG.
some of those cards that I got at PAX. I'll give them to you.
Yeah.
I remember a couple of years ago we did an episode on the hierarchy of nerds making fun of other nerds.
I was just gonna
And
say.
I remember, I think Magic was right above board game people. Like the
no,
Magic
no, I
nerds
think it
could
was
make fun of the
underneath.
board
Magic
game
and then the
people.
RPG people.
Yeah.
RPG people. Yeah.
So if you want to feel nostalgic, you can go back and watch. I think it's like episode 9 or something like that.
Oh, it was early.
Nerd shaming.
Nerd
shaming. That's
shaming.
what it was.
Nerd
That's what it was.
shaming, yeah.
Yeah.
And it came from my stories at when I worked at a comic book store. Like who was allowed to make fun of who? I'm like, no, you collect Magic. You can't
make fun of me.
fucker.
You play
All right,
Bone.
next
Next
question.
question. All right, this is a quick one from Derek Chua on YouTube. He asked if who's right-handed and who's left-handed.
right.
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 Easy
Do we have any
question.
lefties?
lefties?
No
Oh,
lefties?
no
We don't
one's
have any
left-handed
lefties.
here.
Huh, that's
Sorry.
interesting.
We don't serve there.
We don't serve. We don't deal with those people.
I mean, I had been before.
Exactly.
Ambidextrous.
Omni Dog Vault wanted to know, Omar, when you're going to give the women something good to read on old reader, new reader.
God damn it,
Dang,
Jess.
bro!
Love you, Jess.
Love you, Jess.
Everything you like is garbage.
Yes,
What is
everything you like.
Why don't you let one of them pick?
What is he? They do pick.
We do pick some, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Captain Smart Comics is what Jess calls me. Because I make fun of his taste in comic books.
All right, so next question is... Lloyd Wong asked in the chat if any of us have a favorite or memorable moment from any of our episodes.
Oh my god, so many of our openings are so good.
Yeah, our
ridiculous.
intros are pretty
So
amazing.
ridiculous.
I think we should do an episode on just our favorite openings from.
I think that's a good idea.
It just feels a little masturbatory.
Look how
But
great
it's
we
okay.
are.
I mean,
No, I think
it's
it's a
not.
great
It's
idea.
not.
Yeah.
It's not even a clip show.
It's called
it's-
a.
Do you remember when I was awesome?
Easy
at
to
one
edit.
That was
Yeah,
awesome.
that
Yeah,
was
that's
the
pretty
best.
awesome.
Let's
First
talk
of all,
about how...
Do you
Here's the
remember
thing.
the
Are we
time that
criticizing
Omar body
our
slid
intros?
into
None of us are awesome. That's
No,
all
what's that?
Andrew. It's
Yes,
the one
Andrew
episode that everybody can be like, wow, this guy's really good at editing. Because if you haven't seen our panel shows,
Yeah.
our panel shows really rely heavy on our intros.
It
Because we
does.
figured that out like in episode 3 we're like, and I think it was Amanda that suggested this.
Yeah.
When she wasn't even part of the show, she's like, y'all need to talk about what you're talking about within the show within the first 5 seconds of the video or nobody's going to watch your shit. And she was right.
Thanks, man.
And
Appreciate
Andrew
I'm glad
made-
to know that because he totally took credit for that at the time.
Yeah.
I take credit for
Yeah.
everything.
that.
I did all the edits on all the fucking openings, by the way. No, it's all Andrew. We have the ideas, we give it to him, and then he
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
it
makes
really
it happen.
is.
You got to feed me.
You
the
should see
ideas,
some of
though.
the
All
ideas that we have for...
Oh my
You should see
God.
some of the ideas that he rejects. He's like, Omar, I can't make you
I didn't
fly.
do that.
That's true.
And then
impossible.
you made
Yes.
me fly.
He made me
You made
fly, so he
Racist.
doesn't want to make you fly.
But what was the question though? Like
Favorite moment?
Our favorite
Favorite
moment
moment
from
from
one of
the
our
show.
episodes.
I've got two favorite moments.
All right, go for it.
One,
Okay.
I gotta
when
think.
I had to slap Omar, and apparently I can't slap
Yes.
No, she
people
cannot.
very hard.
And I was
So
like, slap me harder.
So I had to do it like 5 times, and I'm
You should try again right now.
like,
Yeah.
Live
Uh,
episode.
Do it? You want to try?
Super chat that shit, Dan, and then I'll let you
Number
know.
2.
Yeah, like, all right, I'm a super chat right now, buddy.
When Omar was like, "You guys have to see how Tina takes shots. Let's take
Oh,
popcorn
that
shots."
was
Oh yes.
Oh, that was like
Tina was like,
Episode 3 or
Three or
4.
four.
she's like,
goodness.
what the
Yeah.
hell is
Oh.
BotCon? Oh yeah.
Yeah, because we had to take
we had
three
to do it like twice.
3 times because
times,
Tina
yeah.
gags every time she takes a shot.
I can't do shots. Like I try, and then it gets like
So
to my tongue, and I'm like,
it was so much misery because we're getting drunk
Yeah,
and
we're
she's
like,
like, "Oh,
let's talk about BotCon, guys.
what about you, Rob? Do you have any favorite moments?
You're gonna have to give me a bit because there's a lot. There's a lot. I love hanging out with you guys.
He doesn't remember
Doesn't.
anything.
And I'm
When-
drunk most of the time.
I like when Tina had that one intro where she had to pour cider into milk or in cereal.
Oh, that's
and then-
right.
and she actually
Oh,
ate
yeah.
it.
Ate it.
Okay.
That was
That's
funny.
no
That was-
joke.
Yeah,
And here's the
literally.
story about
That
that.
was great.
So I poured it in there
Mm.
for the opening, and then we used to film our like outros after we did everything, so that beer and cereal was sitting off to the side for like 4 hours, and
We're
then
not
I
gonna do that.
still ate it for the ending.
That's really gross.
It
I
was
think the
gross.
cereal
It took
was
us a
stale.
You were-
while to
you were
to efficiency-ize this process.
We got it down to a science now.
That's right.
yes, science.
What about
That's
you,
the
Andrew?
word.
You're always
I mean, you're the one behind the camera.
I'm behind the camera. That's my favorite moment is hiding behind the camera.
Andrew has his moments. He's like he forces us to do things.
He does.
He had that one episode
Yeah.
idea. You're like, you guys are doing Wrath of Khan. I'm like, I don't want to do it. And you're like, you're fucking doing it. And I'm like, all right, we're
Oh,
doing
yeah.
Wrath of
We're doing
Khan.
Wrath of Khan.
That was pretty good. I think my favorite, one of the ones that pops to mind is when we did. It was an intro that we did. That was a parody of Logan.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he
where
got
I
to showcase his music too because he rewrote the song. Because we got
Oh,
remember
I did.
we got
That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah. No, I was just
That's
thinking
awesome.
that was
I
like the
didn't know that.
first intro that I remember was just like
You and I were
ridiculous.
like, okay, we can have fun
yeah,
with this.
yeah, we just totally
Omar's
had fun
hand was
with
a
it.
little
Yeah.
sweaty.
When you have manly hands like this, they stay like that.
Makes
Actually, one of
sense.
my favorite moments is an opening that we had, and it was early on.
Which one
And,
this is?
well, no, hold on. There's a couple, but I'll save that one. But the one that I'm talking about is the one where I'm like, I have the Matrix, and I'm like, damn it, open. And Dan, if you look at Dan's face, he's like, he's waiting for the key. He doesn't know how to act. Like, because we weren't really ready to do these kind of openings, but in my head, I'm like, okay, Dan's ready. He can wing it. So I'm being goofy trying to open the Matrix. I'm quoting the Transformers movie, right? Open, damn it.
Word.
Damn it. And Dan's like, like just waiting for you to give him
Like
the
a
line to
fish.
go ahead. But the facial expression that he's making, he is like not ready. for this.
But he looks good.
Unintentionally funny,
It's good.
but
It's good.
I really liked it. Yeah, a lot of
I
fun
don't
with
remember that at all.
Go back and watch it. It's our why you got to read IDW
Shut
Transformers
up.
comics. For those in the chat that want to go watch that right now.
Mhm.
Dan, any special moments?
Nope. Let's move on.
All right.
Next question.
Next
Just one,
question.
right?
Amanda, did you
Yeah.
have any?
No, I mean,
No.
everything's so wonderful. It's hard to.
Wow, good bullshit answer.
All of our anime, all of our like the video games and 8-bit one intros, I think have been really cool. Like we've done
Yeah.
above and beyond.
I think they've
above and
they've
beyond.
gone
Okay,
really
yeah,
well.
and I'll have to say, as far as intros go, my favorite one is the turning into Ultra Magnus.
Yes.
His
Yeah.
scream was
Yes.
amazing. Because I was like, Andrew was like, Rob, I need you to scream like a girl, and I was like, he's got this. He's got this. All right, next question.
All right, so let's see. Nash Villains has asked us who has been the single biggest influence in your life and why.
Well, that would be Nash Villains. You know, he told me to get
Is he a
nail
Patreon?
biter.
Is he a
I
Patreon?
just love Raph.
Okay, he is a good guy. He told me
He is
he
a
sent
good
me
guy.
Ghost, X-Men Ghost, so he's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest influence, man.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Utna.
Utna.
Wolverine.
Sailor Jupiter.
Optimus Prime.
Okay, Optimus Prime, Wolverine,
Superman.
Ah.
Oh.
Oh.
Utna.
Actually, it's Ayame from Wrath of the Ninja.
Wrath of
You
Ninja.
love throwing that name out there. Like,
Like as if anyone's gonna
8
know.
people know what this is.
There's-
It's my favorite movie.
there's 15 people that have watched that anime. Amanda?
Ooh,
Biggest
God.
influence.
Probably Buffy, but only seasons 1 through 3. That Buffy. I
Okay.
loved her.
Okay, okay.
She's my biggest.
Superficial Buffy.
Yes.
You already know the answer. Goku,
God.
baby. Jesus. Goku.
And Jesus.
And Jesus. Goku.
All right, Tina.
If you watched one of our prior episodes about our cartoon heroes or like
We
heroes,
did talk about that.
we did
yeah.
talk about it, and it would definitely be Beast from X-Men and
Oh,
Daria.
that's remember. I
That's
remember
right.
Beast.
that. I can't forget that. I can't forget
Single,
that.
okay, single big influence would probably be Beast.
Yeah.
Single biggest influence.
Shut the heck up! Beast was like
Go
the
back and
biggest
watch
crush. of mine.
By the way, early on, if you watch any of our earlier episodes, Rob and I do this a lot, and we still do it. There was a segment, like, people started commenting, let Tina
boy.
talk.
Oh, boy.
There was like a movement with a hashtag, let Tina talk, because Rob and I would just because we're loud and just our personalities, we kind of tend to talk over people. And poor Tina, she's so sweet.
You're
She's
loud.
sitting in the corner like, I have something to add. And Rob and I, man, so, so I apologize for that.
Yeah, all right,
But we've
my
gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
Right, Tina?
Well,
Shut up!
She's actually
Hold on.
trying
Let me
to
talk
for the
about
last
me
5
what you
minutes.
tell me
Yeah.
about that.
my brain's also like, well, that's already passed.
Before we get to
Okay.
our next question, I want to interrupt for a moment. If anybody knows, YouTube gives out awards when you get a certain subscriber level. Like when you get to the 100,000 subscriber, you're a silver award, I think
Yeah,
it is.
that's right.
$1 million is bronze,
Andrew,
gold,
we're
whatever.
not anywhere near that. What are you
Bruh.
doing?
Yeah, I know.
Wrong
Well,
zero.
they don't give you shit for 10,000, but so I managed to carve one up myself.
That's it!
No, thank you.
You even
Congratulations,
spelled
everybody.
YouTube correctly.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
we get to showcase this at our house each week?
Yes.
I give it to Maddie for a week.
We'll pass
Here,
it around.
I'll take a picture of this.
Yep.
I'm
Just
pretty
take
sure
my
that's
phone.
going to be cleaned off, and there's going to be some grocery list within a week at my house.
I mean, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
I like
Yeah,
it.
there you go.
Thank you,
So,
Andrew.
We'll
Is
display
it got a
that,
magnet?
display that proudly. No. That
Damn,
is
take that sh-
20,000.
Take that
Oh,
take
come
that shit
on,
home.
Andrew.
You gotta have 10 more thousand subscribers for that.
Next
I know
question.
someone who can make us a fake check. Do you want me to make a big fake check? We
There
can
you
hang
go.
it? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll make one of those.
All
That's
right,
good.
Michael Scott.
All right, we're getting close. Let's do a couple more questions.
Okay.
So let's do this one that someone had asked us. What our spirit animals are? That's Chromax or Basti.
Siberian tiger.
Mine is a dolphin because I did my Patronus quiz on Pottermore back when it existed, and dolphin is my spirit animal.
Okay, Tina's asleep.
What's your persona? Sorry.
It's a good game.
Okay, Tina, what's yours?
Never mind. It'd be a cat.
Yeah.
What kind of cat? House cat?
Tabaxi if you're into D&D.
I don't know what just came out of your mouth. I didn't even understand the words you
It's
just
a
said.
race in D&D.
Okay.
Rob, what's
It's
your
cat
spirit animal?
A fox, bruh.
That makes sense. Maddie?
Sloth.
She saw a sloth.
I think it's just because I love them. It's
It's
probably
because
something
they're
else.
so chill.
so cute.
Andrew, spirit
Uh,
animal.
My dog? I don't know.
Your dog.
Your
My
Tiny,
dog?
cute
Yeah,
dog.
my tiny cute dog.
Little
Tiny
just
cute
dog.
dog.
Okay, all right.
Well,
Sure.
mine is also the crafty fox.
Well, then mine's a
Are
dragon
you
fox.
kinda-
Drop the mic.
That's not real.
All
That's
right.
not a thing.
Oh.
Next question, Amanda. Yes, Sledge, by the way, to answer your question really quick, we do fuck with people's computers, IT people.
There are
yeah,
a few
yeah,
of them in the
yeah,
room,
yeah.
so they can attest to that.
I swapped
See
someone's
myself
video
more
card
as a-
out today, and they have no idea.
All right.
Chromax also asked us, what do you do when you're not making videos?
Watching
Sleep.
stuff so we can make videos.
Yeah, reading
Working.
stuff, so we can
Reading
make videos.
stuff.
Taking care of my
working,
child
Being
is
a
a
father.
legit full-time job.
I build 60 hours this week.
He builds 60
It's like,
hours.
woo.
If
Work,
you need attorney,
Children,
work,
Work.
hang out with my spouse.
Going to China, I guess.
go on dates with my husband, because that's
Ooh, I need
important.
a babysitter.
Yeah.
What's
Can you
that?
watch my kids?
No,
So I can go
I'm
on a date
not
with
baby-
you
I-
with your
I
husband.
got-
That's fine.
I have a really
Things
nice babysitter
people
named Kennedy
in
if
their
you want to
30s
use her.
do.
She's
Right, yeah.
fabulous.
Yeah, okay.
Go on
Working
dates.
on Omar's gallery recently after
That's an anime character.
4 years.
She bought me a gallery from Japan, and she's like, "I'll get this painted this weekend." 4 years.
4
ago.
years ago. It's a good
And
friend.
she's sweet. She's
Yeah,
been
she's
doing.
going to.
She's
She's
doing it for
doing
4
it.
years.
I've been doing more models
So-
lately.
That's
been
exactly
fun.
kind of.
Are you a
That's good.
gunpla?
Well, now that they're Transformer models, and it's more
Oh,
trans.
Shit, that's the
Nice.
gateway
That's
drug.
actually really
man.
cool.
Oh man!
Well, I did
How big are
Gunpla
they,
for
like-
a while, a long time.
Are they,
Maddie
like,
and I
big?
can hook you up with some
They're about
friends
so
who
big.
do
Cool.
Yeah.
Gunpla all the time.
I
You
used
can
to.
drink
I
your
still
mountain.
have all the tools from my Gunpla days, so I
Tools.
was able to just pull out.
Tools.
You mean
out.
these?
Yep.
Tools.
When is Soundwave coming up?
All right, let's do because it is 10 o'clock. Let's do one more question, guys.
Unless-
and
Don't
then
forget to hit that like button.
Don't forget to like button.
Unless it's a really
so-
dope question, then we can go a little bit over.
I mean, are there any in the chat? Let me look through the
Well,
chat.
no, I am looking through the chat. Some of these
She's
are
got
more
it, man.
directed
It's
at.
important.
Yeah, Elliot does want to know now. When are we going to shoot our video of our homework? And when do Maddie and Amanda get nerd homework?
What is this?
Oh yeah.
So
I have-
like
I have
D&D?
watched Gurren Lagann.
Gurren
All of
Lagann?
it? No.
You've played
Are you
D&D.
crazy?
No, you should.
What
watch
was the other? I don't know.
was-
Rob was watch Star Trek. You say watch the movie. That's
Yep.
not
He's a
good.
liar.
No. I've watched 3 episodes of the new one on CBS Access. So I'm No, four. Four.
said next gen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
you
did specifically say.
Well, but
next
what if you
gen.
watch as Picard when it comes out?
no.
I could do.
I need a Star
Picard
Trek
work.
with like the.
And what are
beautiful people in
Amanda
this
and
one.
Maddie's homework?
Okay,
Well, I think,
let's see.
I think
well, yeah, what-
Maddie's is obvious.
Read. Oh, I was gonna say
Wait.
for Amanda, her homework is to read the George R. Martin
No,
books.
I'm
No,
not
no,
going.
no,
to
no,
don't
no,
want to
no, no.
torture
It would
yourself.
be something she would not do normally.
No, I misspoke.
Read
the
I
George
mean,
R. R.
Amanda's
Martin
is
books.
obvious.
I would say
and
finish
it's to
watching
watch
Buffy.
Yeah.
Maddie's is hard because Maddie dabbles much like
In
I do in
everything.
everything.
In everything.
But what is the one geeky thing that you can't get into at all?
Oh man.
Is there
You
You
anything
read fan
geeky?
fiction, right?
I do read fan.
Yeah.
Do you write fan fiction?
I have.
Okay.
Okay, so you're
You
right.
Do
can
you-
find it somewhere.
Do you
it's
collect
not good.
Transformers?
I went and saw that.
We're taking her to
Transformers
BotCon.
movie.
We're taking her to BotCon.
She would have a blast at BotCon.
Yeah, we will. She'll be
Maddie.
miserable.
Coming up in a few weeks.
The boys are gonna
the
love me
robot
at
convention.
BotCon.
Yeah. How about Maddie and I just sit at a table and transform some Transformers?
How about you
That doesn't
both
sound
come
fun.
to the robot?
We're going to the
convention
robot
here in
convention.
Would you like
several
some right now?
weeks?
I can give
There's
you.
some up here.
Hey, I'll break
Yeah.
them all. That's
Hey,
great.
listen, Tina will go to BotCon. We'll
Okay.
go if you go.
You go. You cosplay as
That doesn't count.
RC,
RC.
the only
Sex
female
is the only-
robot, or whoever you want to. All right.
Hold on, I see a
It
quick
used-
question.
It used to be Star Wars. Is I'm not a big Star Wars person, but the comics have changed that for me lately. So
There you go. You can watch the old Star Wars. You can watch episodes 1, 2, and 3.
I've
Yeah.
seen those.
Okay, never mind. Rob, are you excited about Killer 7 remaster coming out supposedly on PC? Yes. I love those games.
There
Next
we go.
question.
Yes, I love those games.
He's never played the original.
I know on GameCube. Everything GameCube, yeah.
Omar, Israel Gayton had asked if you could collect only one hobby, what would it be?
Comics.
Comics,
Yeah, I figured
I'm
that's
done
what
with
it'd
just
be.
about
Yeah.
everything else. So comic books, yeah, I figured it's always gonna be a part of my life. So.
Ah, convenient. I'd like to make you an offer on all this.
Why don't you
You
put
hit
your-
me at the right
Why
time.
don't you put those omnibuses, omnibuy, in those like
That's
giveaway
right. Look
books?
how many omnibuses you
Omnibuy.
could fit
Yeah.
over here.
Omnibuy.
That's
right.
a lot.
Okay, good talk. I was looking through here.
Tens of
Do you
dollars,
say
Omar.
anything?
Well, I can only go back so far.
So
I like
Douglas
the,
Smith had asked, "What's everyone's favorite food?"
That's a good question.
Yeah, and there was a question earlier about what was your favorite childhood cereal too.
Oh, that's
Okay, well, let's
wrap
mix
them all
it together.
Captain Crunch is my favorite cereal.
Okay.
What?
Oh yeah,
Fruity
loved it.
Pebbles.
Oh, 100%.
You are such a judgmental bitch.
Even if it broke
Oh,
the roof of my mouth, I don't
Captain
care.
Crunch is the worst.
Even if
I
it got
love
the
Captain Crunch.
Everything
top
you
of
like
my-
is garbage.
yes.
Did you say the worst?
Except Lucky Charms.
Oh, Lucky Charms. is freaking
Lucky
delicious.
Charms is great
You know,
as
that's
an
just,
adult.
I
that's just
like
Fruit
Fruity
Loops,
Pebbles.
guys. That's just Fruit
No,
Loops.
no. For me, it was
What's
the
Joe's
Nintendo
question?
Super
I'm trying
System
to figure it
cereal, Super Cereal, which is essentially Lucky
Okay.
Charms.
Yeah.
Tina,
It's Lucky Charms.
Fruity Pebbles.
Andrew,
It's my
Cocoa
daughter's
Krispies.
favorite. Hey,
Maddie?
she just asked me to
Cocoa
buy her
Krispies.
some.
It changes.
Raisin
When you
Nut
were a
Brand.
kid.
Forgot about that. Raisin
When
Nut
you were a
Brand.
kid.
My mom
I
only
fist bump
bought
Raisin Up Brand.
Cookie Crisp is my favorite as a kid.
Cookie
Okay.
I fist bump Cookie
Crisp.
Crisp.
And as for
I fist bump
me,
everything
Ah,
Say
except,
that together?
Captain Crunch,
except Captain
you are
Crunch.
just the worst.
unlike these people that apparently had money, my mom bought the big ass fucking 40-pound bags of cereals that were called like Frosted Flukes or something like that.
That's what we buy currently
My mom
today.
bought all the healthy stuff.
Yeah, okay, rich folks. My mom bought the unhealthy shit that was $1 for a 40-pound bag, and they totally misspelled everything. There were like deep fried crickets in there, so that's what I like.
I like
Frosted
Lucky
Flukes.
Buys milk.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Lucky Charms that we have, yeah, is something random at Aldi, but it tastes no kids
And,
love it.
and what is our favorite food?
Favorite food? Mine is mashed potatoes, 100%.
Okay,
Carbs, baby.
Yeah, carbs.
Rob.
Rice, Thai food, Thai rice, Indian rice,
Okay,
fried rice,
weird.
Japanese
Tina.
rice.
Broiled mackerel, specifically Japanese.
Specifically
You're
Japanese.
so snooty. You know, it tastes much better in Japan.
Maddie.
It's the way they.
Either stromboli or chicken and dumplings. Basically, it's my mom's cooking.
That's
There
what
you
I
go.
was gonna go with. My mom's
Ooh, you
sicko.
sound kind of a little southern there when
Well,
you
yeah,
said
It's chicken and dumplings. No G.
She brought back that
We're,
Kentucky.
we're in Kentucky.
No.
Andrew.
Yeah.
brown.
God, I don't know. Pizza.
School pizza. School pizza.
School pizza.
School
yeah.
pizza.
Rectangular school pizza.
Yes.
Everybody grew up in the
Did you
80s.
put
Know what that
dressing
is.
on it?
Yeah.
My
No,
mom.
They
never
don't
had
make it
dressing.
anymore.
My mom's sicko. I love that dish. It's a Peruvian dish with pork and potatoes. It's green.
Sounds
It's delicious.
I was gonna say a couple of other things, but let's be real. It's salt.
Yeah, savory,
Salt.
savory,
Yeah.
steak,
Okay.
steak, steak, savory, salt.
Yeah.
How much would I pay for a prostitute? $50. No one's ever asked me that.
That's
But
good
I mean,
quality.
wait, it's my $10. What am I talking about? Yeah, and I would haggle. Oh, you want 10?
Oh yeah, you would.
I'll give you $7.50.
You'd somehow get an Amazon gift card out of it.
Yeah, you
That,
Fine,
ma'am,
yeah.
that wasn't that good. I'm gonna have to get a gift. I'll talk to
Let me
I'll
speak
talk-
to your
come on,
manager.
I'll talk to your
Let me
manager.
speak to your
I'll talk to your
manager.
manager. I'll talk to your manager. That's how I roll. Nobody else gonna tackle that question.
Yeah.
No,
and
it
no,
was just
It
for
was
you.
directed at you.
I don't think any one of us. Yeah.
What future plans do you
have
have for the
I
channel?
thought
That's a good
great-
question.
That's a good question.
What
Yes,
future
thank you,
plans do
Efren
you have for
Navarro.
the channel?
I have a lot of video plans coming up. One, anime videos with Tina, and also, it hasn't gotten off the ground yet because I'm going to China, but everything's going to happen after. I'm going to do video game reviews, but specifically RPG playthroughs. So, like, I've been playing through all the Final Fantasies, so I'm going to tackle those and do my comparisons and, like, which system I'm playing on. And I'm going through Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross right now, and so I'm going to go series by series and then do some reviews and games coming out, but not every game. Whatever game I feel like
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah, because
So-
you're playing through the nonary games, Tina.
Yeah.
We can totally do a review of that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I
that's
plan on-
Maddie's future. Maddie's future.
I'm planning on adding video game news.
You looking at me for a question? You know what? I don't even-
Oh, sorry. I'm
There you
planning
go.
on adding video game news. So, for example, when the Genesis Mega Mini Classic came out, like I would jump on the stream and be like, "Oh my God, Tetris and Darius!" So I want to do that more frequently. So I'm going to be doing video game news.
Okay, Tina.
If you guys would like to see it, I'm pretty broke all the time, but
Tina's adventure sleeping at home without the heat because she couldn't pay the bill.
I've thought about it. When I buy a figure, I like to see video of it, and there's some figures I have that you don't see videos of. So I could potentially do reviews of cheaper figures, anime figures, and even manga that I've read.
We should take advantage
like
of
it.
Maddie because I really want to do an episode on bootleg toys.
Oh God, her Frankie.
Well, no, just she's going to China.
Oh
Yeah.
You remember the stuff I brought back?
Yeah,
from China?
you were like Omar, and I'm like haggle with that motherfucker.
Yeah, so I got like
Yeah.
Nami for like $12.
I'm like, nope, you offered him $8.
Yeah, and that's what happened.
Dan,
smile's a
future.
little
Oh yeah,
off.
Dan, future.
I've been working for a little bit on something a little different, a series of kind of explainy type videos of lawn Transformers. That's still a work in progress in a lot of ways. That started out as like a all voiceover type thing and might end up being that way, but have a lot of scripts written and not a lot of video recorded. So
Yeah.
that's getting there. Trying to figure out ways to make it, interesting.
I think you
and,
can do
and
it.
viewable.
So-
and not horrifically boring.
You
Lloyd-
do it as caveman lawyer. That's
There you
how.
go.
Yeah.
Lloyd, I owe you an email, so thank you very much.
Hope
I'll
those.
email you back, I promise. I just saw your message. Andrew, future for the channel.
Replace
the entire cast.
Get back behind the camera. No.
He's like, yeah, let's do it.
It's
I'm
like,
out.
ugh.
Actually, yeah. Well, one thing I was thinking about doing, maybe if I have time, which I don't, is to
Don't make empty promises.
kind of do some behind the scenes, like specifically how I throw the intros together. Sometimes, maybe.
Like
It's
how
a-
you made Amanda's like fly.
Yeah, that was
just
awesome.
a kind of fun little stuff that captures a little bit behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe, but that's a lot of work.
Mm.
Quick shout out to the Uncanny Durley for a super chat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay! Tap. No, seriously, thank you very much. I'm
Yeah,
not
thank
being
you.
flippant
Is
about
anybody going to see Dark Phoenix? And who are your favorite X-Men?
that. I heard it was not.
Well,
good.
we
Yeah, so
tuned.
Oracle, we have seen it. The review's coming out tomorrow. There's like 2 minutes of bloopers for a good reason on that. So
we
stay
both didn't want to do the damn review. We're like, just read the comic book, God, please.
And yeah, so we do have a review coming out, so you'll get to see our opinion of Dark Phoenix here shortly.
Oh, Uncanny Durley asked a question. He probably so in the super chat you can only write so
Okay.
so long.
Oh, he wants to know any word from your contact on the more omnibus reprints and Epic Collection reprints like Iron Man Volume 1. I guess you looking for that Iron Man Volume 1? Has David
What-
said anything?
what happened?
Do you have secret knowledge?
Do I have secret knowledge?
You can't answer that question.
I
Because if you did, you couldn't answer the
It wouldn't be
question.
secret.
Next question.
let's just say, like, just stay tuned to the channel, please. Subscribe, watch the breaking news. I promise as soon as I find out something, believe me, as soon as I find out about Uncanny X-Men and they're like, yeah, you can tell everybody, I will make a live video and let everybody know Uncanny X-Men 4 is coming out.
Yeah.
As far as future releases, I have talked to David about some things, but nothing solid, right? I hate to deliver, like, news to people and be like, yeah, there's an Uncanny X-Force reprint coming, and then something changes and they're like, no, we're not going to do it. So I want to make sure by Marvel, like, they're okay with me releasing the news. Because things change, even with them. So,
Yeah.
no, I don't have any secrets.
That you can speak of. Ooh, this is a good question for me. Video games focus on overviews like Suda 51. That's who we're talking about, Killer 7. Actually, that's a really good idea. We could totally do episodes like, here are all the Iga games, or here are all the Hideo games, here are all the Suda 51 games. Like that's a good idea. And I know you've played a lot of these things.
I'm gonna do a big
have you.
for Suikoden. Yeah. There's always a Suikoden day every year, so I'll do a big series of videos for that.
Yeah, good idea.
We have another super
Super
chat,
chat.
and this is a really good question.
Yep.
This is from Jordan Trusso.
Thank you, Jordan.
Favorite anthropomorphic comic book character?
Oh man,
Goku?
That motherfucker right there. Oh, where's your shirt?
He took it off. It's not what he's wearing.
Uncle Scrooge. God, it's so good. Like, this is a hard question because I would say Usagi, but Uncle Scrooge. Uncle Scrooge for the win. Dan, same.
I'm gonna same.
Yeah. Andrew.
You skip me. I gotta come back to that.
when
Daisy-
people ask
Daisy
questions
Duck.
like that, I immediately go like a furry route.
Right. I mean,
I
mean, you can.
absolutely.
I would say Porco from Porco Rosso.
Hot.
Rosso.
Oh, comic book character though.
Voiced by Michael Keaton in the American version.
Was it really?
Oh shit, comic book character.
Baron
Beast.
from both Whisper of the Heart and Return of the Cat. That did have a
It's a cat thing.
manga
The cat.
adaptation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the cat.
Okay. Amanda. Ninja Turtle, you had a crush on when you were Donatello?
No. I
Donatello,
mean,
Leonardo.
You wanted to get in his show.
We all had a
Definitely
crush on
not.
Raphael. Let's be honest.
yeah.
Raphael was the
No,
guy you just
well,
wanted to
comic
bang,
book
not take
character,
home.
right? And I mean, no, if it was just
I
animated.
mean, like Mickey Mouse, whatever, like
No.
animated.
Buster
Darkwing
Bunny when I was
Duck.
younger was like
He was
yeah,
cute.
Buster Bunny was really adorable. But I mean, we haven't read a lot of except for Rocket the Raccoon is the only
Rocket the
like,
I can't think of any
from
for some
comic
reason.
books that
No,
we've read.
all right, that's
So-
it. We're reading Uncle Scrooge, Don
You
Rose's
could
Uncle
do
Scrooge.
Howard the Duck,
I remember
Darkwing Duck, There's a
See,
lot
we
of
haven't
ducks.
done
It's a lot of
Ducks.
ducks.
Yeah.
Peter and Ernesto from the first, second published book. Peter and Ernesto, A Tale of Two Sloths. That's my answer. That's a
Okay.
comic
Yeah.
book. There
Rob?
it is.
Mickey Mouse. Nothing gets more classic than Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse.
And Tina said a furry. What'd you say?
I said Bear and the Cat
Bear
from
from
the Cat Returns.
Whisper of the Heart.
I said Return of the Cat, but it's Cat
Okay.
Returns, Whisper of the Heart.
Was there
Yeah.
any
manga adaptation?
any other questions?
That's a good
We
question.
have
People
a ton-
commenting on your wavy hair.
Yeah,
It's
thanks.
really nice.
Yeah, we have a ton of questions. Any question we didn't answer tonight, guys, we are keeping a repository, and we'll do another live show soon and answer those as they go, and maybe do some type of fan.
Yeah, maybe we should keep doing a live show.
Fan live episode every once in a while with fan questions.
I want to do, like, next time we reach a certain, like, I don't know.
Level.
Plateau.
Level.
Yeah.
What?
I think we
10,050
should do one like this,
people.
but I want to drink beforehand.
I would agree. All we have is a little bit of champagne.
Yeah,
I should have bought two
agreed.
Should have brought
bottles.
the bourbon.
Bad things happen when I drink.
So
Bad
we should
things
definitely
happen when
get
we
you
drink.
Yeah.
I've
That'll
seen
be
that
the name of the
episode.
episode.
Bad things happen when Tina drinks.
Great things happen when I drink.
I cuss everybody out.
No, we need to turn the episode into a drinking game.
Ooh, even better.
Every time we
Yes.
see everyone push the button, we take a shot.
Yeah.
Every time Omar says something,
Funny. You guys will be drunk.
we
I
will
was gonna say we'd be
we will
sober.
be very
Yeah,
sober.
sober.
Be.
Very
Fuck
sober.
everyone.
What how did you like pay to see one of us drink?
You know what?
Well, you. Yes, that's
Yeah,
a good
you.
idea. They've seen us drink
Yeah,
on air.
they need to
so-
see you take a shot.
they've
It
already
is.
seen us drink beer on
I
air.
like the
took a
idea
shot
because
in the
and then
vodka
we can do
episode.
super chats. And
Yes.
if you do a super chat,
You've got to take a
Oh my
shot.
god.
Y'all are into
decide
it.
who's
gonna-
Let us know.
I regret this decision.
This is a great decision.
done,
This is a great
it's
idea.
decided.
This is
Done.
your fault.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
Okay,
That's-
Elliot,
that's
I
it.
can't pick up milk. Okay?
I will go buy Maddie some
I don't
milk
have
when
a
we're
credit
done.
card right now because it's.
I'll
credit
give you
card
cash. I'm
fraud.
gonna give you cash. Go get some milk. It's only
I will
$5.
give her $5.
Milk is $5.
yeah.
How much is a banana? $10.
is he stuck?
Inflation.
Even do.
Elliot
Inflation.
posting in the chat asking me to bring him milk.
Yes.
That's love right there.
Get Postmates.
Life and Times of Uncle Scrooge. I promise, Freddie Alonso. That's coming.
Yes.
Uncle
I-
Scrooge. Uncle Scrooge is probably.
All
the
right.
correct
So
answer.
wait. I need to set the record straight about this crying.
All right,
thing.
guys. I
No,
think with
God
that,
damn it.
that-
Wait a
that
minute.
needs to
It
end
was
the
that
episode.
and it's time.
Thank you very much.
Now take it out of context.
No, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and remember to click the bell to get more near mint condition content. Remember to follow us on all of our Patreon and our Redbubble if you want t-shirts. The link is in the description below.
Sure, right here. Sure, right here.
Redbubble. And last but not least, follow us on all our social media channels. And remember, guys, if it's classy and cool, it must be in your mint. Thank you for watching. Happy 10,000. Onward to 25. Bye, guys.
Bye, you
See
all.
y'all later.
Thank you.